tragedy of any cause, silver agey, boastful, self-righteous, in most sense, archaeologist, evolutionary, dead-end techno hit parade. What Phoenix represents is an enigma of some kind for the time it was out. It's especially notable because it stands out as a handcrafted jewel in the times of the comparatively boring Galaxians and Galagers. Phoenix was an arcade game developed by... Actually, people don't know who developed Phoenix. Its origin has always been sort of shrouded in mystery. It was published by Taito in Japan and distributed by Century in America. Many online databases will announce Amstar Electronics as a developer, and those same databases claim Amstar was an American developer based in Phoenix, Arizona. All the while, Vice President of Century, Joel Hochberg, said that Phoenix, like many other Century games, were licensed from minor Japanese developers, but he failed to mention which development team did make Phoenix, and the Japanese Wikipedia page sources it to Amstar too. So what the hell? Who made it? All the more, this mess doesn't help any cause but just add to the tragic mystique of the game. Weirder yet, there is another game distributed by Century called Play Ads, which features the exact same heads-up display and lavish production values, and its development is credited to the Japanese developer Tekken, later to become Tecmo. All we know about Phoenix is that it was made in 1980, right in the wake of the Galaxian and Space Invaders craze, and the joint dominance of both Namco and Taito in the Japanese arcade game business. And interestingly, it predates Galaga by several months. The best I can conclude is that Phoenix was developed by either Tekken or Taito themselves. Perhaps Amstar might be some sort of an in-house team inside those two. To me, this makes the most sense considering how imaginative and fertile the game's design is in such a way that only Japanese developers could be able to do it. Today the game appears as a re-release only under one company's name, Taito's, as part of the Taito Legends collection, which includes other Taito arcade games like Space Invaders and Bubble Bobble, which are, as we know, developed in-house. On the other hand, you'd see play ads in Tecmo's own compilation called the Tecmo Hit Parade, among other company classics such as Bomb Jack and the notorious Solomon's Key. I'm afraid I'll just have to leave this entire issue for archaeologists, but let's just go back at the game. Really, Phoenix has everything in common with Galaxian, all down to the handling of your spaceship, which is flabby, constrictive, you can only move left and right, and you can only shoot one bullet at a time. Up above are formations of enemies flying around that disassemble for solar assaults. You shoot them all in, clear the level, and hop on to the next one. You also have a shield that protects you from bullets and enemy collision, a useful lesson taken from an arcade contemporary Defender. Unlike in Galaxian, where you have to repeat every round with the same roster of enemies, Phoenix went a step farther, and made the gameplay experience much more different by dividing a single round into 5 distinct stages. The first 2 concern brushing off small-scale birds, the second 2 you're fighting against larger birds that can endure more damage you dish out on them, and the 5th and final stage, after which the game repeats, it pits you against a boss battle in the form of an alien mothership. For a 1980 Galaxian clone, this was no small feat. Boss battles were seldom present or indeed didn't exist at all in arcade games before Phoenix set this trend. But as a result, which would prove to be Phoenix's most powerful legacy, it did institutionalize a very basic dramatic arc in all games to follow. The kinds of game storylines or levels that leave you fighting progressively more powerful henchmen until you tackle the powerful leader of the enemies, the sole antagonist, in the game's climax. To get to the Alien Queen, you first need to shoot and degrade the outer hull of the ship. After this, there's an inner rotating shield that blocks the commander from your shots, but if you breach it, all it takes is one shot to the alien to destroy both the alien, the mothership, and all its minions, and win you the round. But even that, I don't think, is what makes Phoenix stay in people's memories compared to how hauntingly beautiful this game is. Right after you dock your quarter in and start playing, instead of being thrown into a silver agey, boastful, self-righteous task of go get him, Tiger, like Galaxian or Galaga would do, for the first 5 seconds, you are instead treated to this long swath of infinite space and sorry wonders, while a dreamy music in minor tucks your descent into your ship's controls. less Star Wars and more Space Odyssey in the way Phoenix decided to frame its story. It's very contrapuntal than what we're used to seeing in space shooters. The music itself is borrowing from Romance de Amor, a classical piece by, get this, an unknown Spanish composer, much like our friends the developers. But no, really, this introduction is an open invitation to a rain of tears. It's impossible not to be transfixed when you boot up the game to a haunting music backed by these strange, wondrous birds who fly in such mesmerizing, indecipherable patterns while cackling in their charges their agitated, opulent songs of death. I don't think that any game before Phoenix managed to show its common enemies being so terrifyingly agitated. These birds are well aware that you, the player, are being sent to exterminate and commit genocide on their entire race. They act on that fear and anger, and nowhere is that more brilliantly expressed than in their ear-piercing shrieks and erratic flying patterns. Often instead of just shooting at you, they're willing to risk their lives by colliding with your spaceship. You are subjected to even more brutal imagery when you fight against the full-size phoenixes. When these stages begin, the phoenixes are at first immature and confined into eggs, which, as any opportune player would do, would crack open and murder before the phoenixes get the chance to hatch. After, when they block out the sky above you, you have the option to violently tear their wings with your shots, which is bound to happen considering how wide their hitboxes are. Every time you do, they scream in pain. But this loss of wings does not hinder their progress, and they swoop down at you with the same ferocity. After a certain time, they can regenerate their lost wings, but that does not matter. The only way to kill these beasts is to shoot them dead center, whether they have their wings or not. Alternatively, you can wait until enough time passes and these phoenixes, like their namesakes, reincarnate by transforming back into eggs. This gives you once again a chance to shoot them while they're being complacent. The alien queen herself is backed by a flock of minor phoenixes you fought in the first two stages. After you destroy him, or her, or it, and what's possibly the entirety of the Phoenix race, you're rewarded with another Star Trek, this time backed by Beethoven's Für Elise. And then the game restarts with a higher level of difficulty. It is never explained who this alien boss is or what his or her ambition is. It is never explained why you fight these beautiful but deadly creatures. Did the alien queen wish to conquer your home planet and has enslaved an entire race of birds to do his bidding to fulfill his plan? Or are you tasked by your superiors to expand the space frontier and conquer new planets and territories by forcing away animal life into extinction? The Atari 2600 port tries to provide a bit of backstory for its manual. It says that you are the leader of a spaceship called Phoenix, and that an alien ship is sucking the resources of your planet. But this manual is published by the same company who felt compelled to give a story about space travel to super fucking breakout little things, so it's very easy to dismiss this version of the story's conjuration. The Japanese flyer presents the Phoenixes as mechanical creatures, as mindless robotic minions of the alien invader, but otherwise alludes to nothing. Unless there is some flavor text here which provides answers, but I sadly can't decipher them yet since I'm not too good with Japanese. But whether it was done subconsciously or through intention, Phoenix does something no one could have seen coming. It managed to synthesize its gameplay and presentation into what I think is the earliest video game tragedy. Phoenix just creeps me out a lot, in a way that just makes me revisit the sorrowful game time and time again just so I can marvel its handiwork. Its tasteful feminine motifs that place more emphasis and importance on presentation and beauty than in chasing some evolutionary dead-end gameplay element of Space Invaders. Its splendor of graphic and sound design is a seal that boldly proclaims video games have the potential to be more than faddish tests of dexterity, that they can be art, in its own way a combination of arts through the strengths of its visual presentation, music, and storytelling. When meticulously handcrafted and fueled by inspiration, even small, obscure arcade titles like this can shine like diamonds and stand mighty and tortured, lamenting the pains the human soul has known for ages uncounted.